Aero and Vekoma, two roller coaster manufacturers that were not only closely related in actual business partnerships, but also in their evolution as companies. In the late 1970s to mid 1980s, Aero Development contracted Vekoma, a Dutch steel manufacturer, to fabricate its coasters in Europe. While the specifics and actual execution of this agreement are disputed, it eventually culminated with Vekoma becoming a roller coaster manufacturer itself, designing and marketing its own rides, while purchasing trains for its coasters from Aero. As part of this, Vekoma used a nearly identical track design to Aero's, which it would continue to use on new designs until the early 2000s, and on older models to this day. Both companies have also struggled with bankruptcy. Aero Huss, as the company came to be named in 1981 after merging with Huss of Germany, filed for bankruptcy in late 1984. During this time, Huss left the picture, and the steel fabrication side of Aero split off into its own company, named Fabri-Weld, which we'll get into later. The company later rebounded in 1986 as Aerodynamics, but a decade after that, roller coasters were getting more advanced in both design and uniqueness, which Aero struggled to keep up with. Aero's overly ambitious fourth dimension coaster model was a giant money pit, and as the prototype, X at Six Flags Magic Mountain, began to be built, the company was running out of money fast. Across the pond, Vekoma also began to struggle. Despite being at the forefront of new innovations such as the flying coaster and linear synchronous motors, creating two of the most successful coaster models, the Boomerang and the suspended looping coaster, which we'll get into later, and building a good relationship with Disney, owners of the most attended theme parks in the world, a sudden dip in orders around the turn of the millennium, and major technical problems with the three giant inverted boomerang coasters at various Six Flags parks, causing payments to be withheld, Vekoma was reaching a breaking point. Both Aero and Vekoma filed for bankruptcy in 2001. Aero was purchased by fellow Utah-based amusement ride company S&S Power, whereas Vekoma slowly rebuilt itself and continues to be a huge innovator. Alright, now let's get into the coaster. Remember me mentioning Fabri-Weld, the now independent manufacturing division of Aero? While now being independent from the company, it was basically business as usual, handling some part of the manufacturing on the Aero projects of Vortex at Kings Island, Iron Dragon and Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point, Ninja at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Desperado at Buffalo Bills Resort and Casino. But Fabri-Weld also worked on other coaster projects away from Aero. In 1991, at Lagoon, in its own town of Salt Lake City, the company replaced some track sections on the park's Jetstar 2, a coaster dating back to 1974, built by another coaster company, Schwarzkopf. This continued in 1994, when Fabri-Weld was contracted by Vekoma? Yeah, remember the suspended looping coaster I brought up earlier? Morey's Piers in Wildwood, New Jersey wanted one with a custom support structure and modified track layout to fit onto the existing pier. For unknown reasons, possibly due to the custom design of the coaster, and to save money with domestic manufacturing, Vekoma subcontracted the fabrication of the track and supports to Fabri-Weld. This was sort of a match made in heaven, as Vekoma used Aero's iconic track design on the suspended looping coaster, so the guys at Fabri-Weld would be manufacturing the same track they had been for years, just for a different company. They fabricated the coaster in Utah and loaded it onto trucks headed to New Jersey, where the ride would later open as the Great Nor'easter on May 26, 1995. For 26 years, you could ride an Aero running Vekoma trains, rather than a Vekoma running Aero trains, but strangely, if you ride the coaster today, it's almost fully Vekoma. In 2016, Morey's Piers announced the coaster would undergo a major renovation during the off-season, including the replacement of 90% of the track, fabricated by none other than Vekoma. It reopened in 2017 to decent reviews. Hope you enjoyed all that yapping. Bye!